Okay, today what we will do, first we will start JDK 8 features, and after that we have something is pending in threads, so that we will see end of the class. So that will not take much time. So JDK 8 features we will see some 5 features. After that we will see thread remaining one. Thread group is pending, so we will see that one later. I mean end of the class.
Okay.
Okay, and before starting JDK 8, right? So previously I'm using JDK version is Juno. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so Juno will not support JDK 8. If you want to see, so
So,
yeah, yeah. Kramal, you are telling something?
nah, I said okay.
Okay, okay, fine, fine, yeah. So right now we are planning to use JDK 8, right? So JDK 8 will support Eclipse from, we see here, right? So JDK 8 will support from Luna onwards. So
Okay.
the previous versions, meaning Kepler, Juno, Indigo, Helios, these will not support JDK 8.
Okay.
If you see my previous one means, so whatever we are using previously, so this is our old workspace, Juno, Eclipse, old Eclipse. So far I'm using this Eclipse, Juno. Juno means 3.8. So it will not support JDK 8.
Okay.
So you will not get the drop down JDK compiler version as JDK 8. So minimum you have to use 4.8, meaning from Luna onwards you can able to use JDK 8. So Luna onwards they integrated Eclipse with JDK 8. So that's what I am going to use different Eclipse for just only for JDK 8 usage purpose.
Okay.
And from 2005 onwards, meaning Eclipse version 3.5, 3.1 onwards, you can able to use JDK 5.
Okay.
So the older versions, meaning the previous first version is 3.0, they have not given any name. So in that maybe you can use only JDK 1.4. From 3.1 onwards, you can use JDK 1.5. From 4.4 onwards, you can able to use JDK 8 also. So
Okay.
in between, you didn't see here like a JDK 6, 7. Why? Because 6, 7 don't have much features. The major features they had given in JDK 5 and after that JDK 8. These are the two major versions.
Okay.
As part of JDK 5, we saw generics, annotations, boxing, auto boxing, enums, enhancer for loop, static imports, all those things, right?
Right.
These are the major features. In the similar way, in JDK 8 also we have some best features are available, so that we will see.
Okay.
Okay, for JDK 8 purpose, I'm going to launch different Eclipse, so you can download from internet this Eclipse also. Whatever the Eclipse, you can download either Luna, Mars, Neon, or Oxygen. So Oxygen is not yet released, so they are planning for this year. Okay, so you can download any of these three,
Mm-hmm.
any of one from these three, then that will work for you. So now I am going to use Mars. So Mars also there in the list, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Mars is there and it is 4.5. So it will support JDK 8.
Is it Oxygen has been released or not?
I think it is not yet released. If it is released, then they will give the date here when it
Oh,
got
okay.
released. They are planning for June.
Okay. So I have Neon.
Yeah, yeah. So we have to wait for 5 months. Then it will be released. So they're planning to release in June of 2017. So if you see all the Eclipse, they are trying to release in June after 20th. Do you see the date pattern?
Yes.
Maybe.
So they are actually following June, just like the Apple.
Yeah, maybe there is might be some sentiment. I don't know. Apple also will follow that date.
Apple September always they follow.
Yeah, correct, exactly. Maybe they have some kind of sentiment, or we don't know exactly. If you see the date pattern, they are following after June only 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 7, something like that. Maybe some.
Maybe they got it. Who developed the?
There is some meaning. Might be there is some meaning. Might be is there. If you see the pattern, there might be some meaning. Is there?
Yeah.
4th Wednesday of June.
Manohar, I saw one video in Bangalore. Actually, 6 or 7 people died in Honda riding. So
Yeah, it's happened
what
frequently.
happened actually?
It's happened frequently. Sometime, right, when buses are coming one by one, in between people are riding, so the bus drivers they are not able to control. So here, right in India, what will happen if any foreigner will come? Meaning, if any person is coming from US or UK, so they are not able to drive in India. Really, they will get scared. They are not able to cross the road also.
Well, it's not only in India, it's also is in Bangladesh as well.
Yes, yeah. So they are not able to drive.
There was
Even
a time that I went to Bangladesh, and then they are always traveling from Chittagong to Dhaka. I was like so much. I was like, thanks God, please save me from this ride. I'm not gonna travel anymore with this.
yeah, that's what. If people are born and brought up from other countries, so then they are not able to drive. Why? Because here you will not get any space.
Right, and there,
Where you have to find wherever space is there, you have to ride your car or two-wheeler.
right, and also during that time, the
Peak
strike was
times,
going on. That was too much.
you will not get any space. They will get scared. Even
Yeah.
recently, December time, from US, some people came for visit, JP Morgan people. So that time, I asked one question. So how you are feeling about traffic? They are telling horrible. I'm not able to drive in this traffic. I don't know how you guys are driving. He's telling
Right.
they will get scared basically.
No, I saw in the Google News actually that 7 or 6 young guys dead because
So
and
many what they are doing while driving. 3 people are driving. That is one mistake. No helmet. Second mistake. Third helmet. Their third mistake. They were standing on the big elevators and they are taking selfies while driving.
oh, they're taking selfies. Oh
Yeah,
my god!
selfies when they are driving the bike with 60-80 speed.
Wow.
Then spot death.
Well,
Three
this
people.
crazy stuff is happens in USA, but I guess it's
It's spot death. Three
A
people.
spot that there.
Spot death. Yeah, all 3 people.
Oh,
They got selfie also. Oh, really?
Who is posting those selfies?
No, what I say in Facebook, right? People will
Yeah.
post that one. Yeah, one guy we can't find out. He became a piece. His body became pieces, kind of thing. 2 buses are coming one by one, but in between, one guy is driving. The last bus hit the guy, and before the two-wheeler guy, one bus is there. Backside, one bus is there. In between, the guy is there. We can't see his face also. Helmet also got it's kind of it became a paper helmet.
oh,
Hmm.
That much rash driving.
So terrified.
Yeah, it's very horrible here. It's very horrible. Driving is very dangerous.
yeah. I just saw news and I was thinking, what happened? Everybody.
Where today?
No, some days earlier, and I was
Yeah,
just
it's
everybody's
frequently
commenting.
accidents are horrible. Too much. Okay, just I have created one new project for us. Okay. So in this project, so what I'm going to do, there are some best features are available in JDK 8 also. So if you say I know I use JDK 8 in my project, then they will ask immediately, tell me the features. What are the features you used? They will ask. So I'm going to tell you some five or four features, so which are very important, so that you can remember. Okay, as part of interview, if you say yeah, I know JDK 5, they will ask some features. If you say I know JDK 8, they will ask these features.
Hmm.
Okay, now I'm going to create a class.
It's rather not mentioning it.
Yeah, I think no, don't say like that. See, nowadays, right, all the people are using JDK 8 only. So I recently I was looking for one of the H1 interview, H1B. So that time they mentioned skill sets JDK 8 is must.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what JDK 8 is must. Nowadays people are running behind JDK 8 only. It's better try to learn. It's not complicated. These features are very easy. These features are not that much complicated. It's very easy. So whatever so far we are using, it's a little bit small change. That's all. So far, whatever we are using, like JDK 5, we were discussing like enhanced for loop, right? So previously we are using for I equal to 0, I less than length, I plus plus. So that is a old for loop. After that, as part of enhanced for loop, we got Foreach, I colon and list, correct?
Right.
So in the similar way here also with a little bit change, we are going to use some new features.
It's just the coding structure get changed a little bit.
Yes, but JDK people are using, so better we have to use.
So, for example, I'm using JDK 8, but I'm using the feature is JDK 5. So, is that shouldn't be a problem, right?
Yes. Always lower versions will work. Always.
All right. Okay.
Always. Even though you're using JDK 10, but still you can able to use JDK 1, 2, 3, 5 features.
Oh, okay. So the way that they build the software is just
Yes. Reverse. Same. It's Android also. So whatever apps they are developing, they always target older versions. Why? Because we can't tell to people, please upgrade your software, correct? So always they are trying to build a software which is compatible with older versions. As
right.
long as it is compatible with older versions, it is always it will compatible with the latest versions. Latest versions we don't need to take care. We need to target about older versions only. Meaning people who is having old softwares, so it should work for them as well.
Right. Exactly.
So that in that way, Android APKs will be built. So always they will try to build APs that software apps by using older versions. If it is working in older version, it will work always in newer version also. So in the similar way here also, even though you are using JDK 8, but still you can able to use JDK 5 features also. It's not a problem. So always backward compatibility is there. This JDK 8. So did you see this? Now it is telling package name is not a valid. A package name cannot be start with and the dot something it's telling. So I need to give a full meaningful name. But it's easy, it's not that much complicated. Maybe we'll take some more time, then we can teach. Will not be hurry, because this is very important. They will ask these questions. If you explain at least 3, enough. They will not ask much. Okay, first we will see so far how we are iterating the for loop. Sorry, list. We are writing list for I equal to 0, I less than length, I plus plus, something like that. We are iterating, right? After that we have got enhanced for loop, correct?
Right.
In enhanced for loop also we are using one variable, correct? So now in JDK 8 we got one more for loop only for list. So first I will define one list. List. I am going to add only integers. First, let me import. So this is integer list equal to array list, correct?
Right.
int think what JDK 8 is pointing.
No, spelling is, integer.
Spelling is wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, correct. See here, till JDK 5. So if you are mentioning here, it is a generics, right?
All right.
It is a generic feature. It is available in JDK 1.5. Till JDK 1.5, if you are using generics, if you are mentioning integer here, here also we have to mention integer like this. Till JDK 1.5. In JDK 1.6, what they did, so if you are mentioning integer here, here it is an optional. In JDK 6.
Oh, okay.
No need to mention in two places, right? Correct?
Okay.
So it is a JDK 6 feature. So I'm using JDK 6 feature also here. So if you are in JDK 5, if you are mentioning integer here, so here also you have to mention integer. In JDK 6, what they did, why we need to mention same thing in two places? Correct? So it is an optional here. If you want, you can mention, because if some people know only JDK 5, so they will mention here integer. Correct?
Right.
So it's a generic feature. So here it is an optional. So that's what they will try to reduce this coding number of lines and all. So this is JDK 1.6. So now what I want to do, I want to add some numbers. Did you see this?
Yeah, it shows.
What is this error?
Why?
The local variable I equal to 0, sorry. Okay, now now I declared one for loop and I'm going to add some 100 numbers to the list. Okay, I am going to add some numbers. It will take only integers, correct? Why? Because I mentioned here integer. So I added 100 numbers to this list. Okay.
Okay.
Now what I want to do, I want to iterate this list. So how we are going to iterate it? So if you are confusing this one, I will add like a plain list dot add. So here I am going to add 12, one number. The similar way I will add some numbers. Number, phone number, 6 numbers. So I added some 4 numbers into the list. Okay. This is clear, right? So far. Now what I want to do, I want to iterate this list. So if you want to iterate this list, how we are doing, we are going to use for list, for loop, for integer I equal to 0, I less than list dot size I plus plus. After that we are writing here for loop system out list dot get I. So far we are iterating the list like this, correct?
Right.
So this is the way so far we are iterating. So as part of JDK 8, so we have a feature. So what is that called? List dot. You will see there is a one method called Foreach.
Okay.
So you will see one method called Foreach.
For loop is calls is for each now, right?
Yes, list dot Foreach. Did you see this here? Some documentation it is saying since 1.8, meaning so this method got introduced in JDK 1.8.
Okay.
For every method, if you place cursor here, right? So it will give some information, and if it will come down, then it will say here from when it was introduced. So this capital integer was introduced in JDK 1.0. Integer was introduced in JDK 1.0. So like that, if you want to see anything, if you want to see the add method, then place a cursor on that, then come down, then you can see they didn't mention anything here. So these are very old methods. The similar way, this for each was introduced in JDK 8. So this specific for each I'm talking about only for list. So how we are going to iterate? So we have a method called for each inside the list interface. So that for each, the input is new consumer. So what is the data available in this list? Integer, right? So we have to mention here integer. Yes, if you see here, right, it will make little, it will feel like a little bit complicated, but it's not a complicated. So yeah, if you see here, see this consumer, it's an interface. It's a consumer is an interface, and it was introduced in JDK 1.8. So here, what I'm trying to do, I'm creating an object for this consumer. Correct? This is an object creation, right? And this is the interface. Inside this interface, there is a one method called accept. So inside this method, now you can, what you are trying to do finally, I want to display the numbers, correct?
Right.
So this number you can display as it is. So here, did you return any for loop here for? See how they simplified. So we are not writing any extra for loop like this, correct? This one and this one both are same. So now this one you can comment out.
Yeah, comment out this, right?
So now,
so list for each, right? We used to say I equals 0 and then I less than, and then the size, and I
no
plus
need to
plus.
mention all these conditions is not required here. Now if you run it, you will see all the numbers. So do you see this? It is printing all the numbers, right? If you want to add any condition, you can do whatever you want to do with the list, you can do it. So list dot for each new consumer, it is an interface. So you have to create an object, and inside the interface, so there is a method called accept. So you can override it, and as part of that overridden, you will get the data. So you can do whatever you want. So this is called collections for loop.
Collections for
Yes.
loop.
Inside the collections, so they have introduced this for each loop. So this is first feature.
Okay.
So only the accept method under consumer?
Yes. This is the inbuilt method inside the consumer interface. So you have to use only this pattern. You have to create an object, and you have to specify the input type. Element type. If you didn't mention anything, say for instance here, if there is no integer here, so then you can mention here integer or object. That is up to you. If you mention object here, the similar way you can mention here object. Correct?
Right.
So that is up to you.
Okay.
So then you can able to display all the data. So this is for collections for each loop. So they saved lot of space, right? So you no need to write extra for loop. You no need to create one variable for I equal to 0, I less than length, I plus plus. So how many conditions we are checking?
3.
3. Here there is no condition at all, correct?
Right.
There is no initialization, there is no condition check, there is no increment, correct?
Right.
So this is the way they are trying to reduce. Internally, CPU will break his head to check all those things, correct? There are so many things we need to check here, but here nothing. Did you see any complicated conditions here? So in that way, they are going to simplify the newer versions. So this is,
yeah, understand. This is kind of, well, I
list
just, yeah.
list dot for loop, and here just we are going to create an object for this consumer interface. We created an object, and why? Because this is the interface, so we have to implement the inbuilt abstract methods, correct? So this is one of the abstract method inside this interface, so I have overridden and I implemented here. So the implementation here, I want to display the numbers, that's all. I don't want to do anything.
Right. Okay. For okay, Mono, just I wanted to use a string method, right?
Okay.
For loop, but let's say I have a 10 different color, 10 different color, red, yellow, green, brown, and all this.
Variables, values.
Yeah, there are many values, right, in a string, right?
Okay.
So let's say from that list, I just wanted to select red. How does it work?
Then here you can add that condition. Say for instance, now here told 132, 24, 72 is there. I want to know only is there any numbers greater than 100. I want to display only that particular numbers. Then what you will do, you are going to add one condition here. If I greater than 100, then display it. Sorry, T. So in this case, the local variable is T, correct?
Right.
So in the similar way, here you will define a string. If string equals red, then display that one.
Or clicked on that one, right?
Yes, yes. Now it will display 132, 3 numbers only. 12 it will ignore. Correct? 12 is there in the list, but we are adding the condition. So because of that, it's not displaying it.
T is actually, what is this T?
T is a kind of local variable here. So here we are using here I, right?
Yeah.
The similar way here I'm using T. So if then you can use I also, it's not a problem. It's a local variable.
Okay.
So here also we are using some local variable, right? The similar way here I'm using one local variable called I. So this is one of the important feature available in JDK 8. So it's Foreach loop for collections.
Right.
It is clear, right? So here we are not checking the list, we are not incrementing it. So these conditions, see, this is a very, very big headache, correct?
Right.
Here we are not at all doing anything. Yeah.
So in this case, since you add the conditional statement, so if I wanted to only select that 124, right? So I have to say if I get equal to, right?
Correct, yes.
Equal to
Yes,
124.
yes, that whatever data you want, you can add it here. Then it will be displayed only that particular data only.
And then click, right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
And then I dot click, right? Something like that.
Yeah, you can, this condition is up to you. However you want to display, you can add it.
All right. Okay.
It is clear, right? This for loop. So this is one of the feature in JDK 1.8. So now we will see second feature. So far, how we are dealing with interfaces. Say for instance, now I'm going to create a different class. So writing everything in one class is going to confuse. So I'm going to use another class for what is that interface name? 1 second. The interface name is forget. Yes, functional interface. Yes, so this is also the second example is functional interface. So far, how we are dealing with the interface and how we are going to deal with JDK8 interface. Okay, let me create a package com.jdk8 functional interface. So I'm going to we will see next feature called functional interface. So what is first we will see what is functional interface. In JDK8, so they have introduced one new word called functional interface, meaning a interface which is having only one method is called functional interface. If it is having only one single method, meaning single abstract method inside an interface, that is called as a functional interface. Okay, now so let me define a calculator interface. Sorry. So this is an interface, right?
Mhm.
Public integer add. So what it will do? It will take two numbers, correct?
Mhm.
It will take two numbers and it will add it. But did you see the implementation here? For this interface, did you see the implementation?
Right.
It's not there, right?
No.
So for this interface, there is no implementation, correct? So to provide the implementation, generally what we are doing so far, we are going to write one more class and we are implementing the class X we are writing and we are saying implements calculator. After that, we are overriding the add, correct? So
Mhm.
far we are doing like this, right? Here while as part of return we are writing x plus y, correct?
Right.
When we are defining the interface and implement the interface and override that methods, correct?
Right.
So far we are doing like this, correct? So these many number of lines we are writing, correct?
Mhm.
So as part of JDK8, I don't want to write these lines. So how we are going to do the similar kind of task? So now how we are going to use this one? So we have to create an object, right? X, capital X, ob equal to new X. Then what I have to do? X ob dot, make it this capital X. Okay. Now ob dot add. I can pass 10, 20. What I will get results?
30.
Correct. So you will get 30. So far we are doing like this, right? We are defining interface and we are implementing it and we are calling them, I mean that definition of the class methods, correct?
Right.
So we are getting 30. So we are defining interface and we are implementing interface and we are overriding the interface method, correct?
Mhm.
As part of JDK8, so how we are going to eliminate these piece of codes? I will show you. Okay, now let me interface. Let me interface calculator calc equal to. So this is very important called lambda expressions. Okay, this is very important lambda expressions. So this is the interface calc calculator calc equal to what is the arguments integer a comma integer b. Okay, so now here I am going to do RETURN. I will explain you what it will do exactly. A plus B. Did you see this? Now I can call directly calc dot add. I will pass here 100, 200. So it will return sum integer new sum equal to. Sorry, there is no space for variables. We should not give. So this is new sum. Did you see this? What I did here? In one line, I provided implementation. After that, I am calling the sum. I'm calling my method. I'm displaying the value. Now I can comment out all those things. We'll comment out this one. I don't want this piece of code. Now I'm trying to add 100 and 200. So let me do it, whether it is giving results or not. Did you get the 300?
Mm-hmm.
But here the major piece of code is this is the one. So in one line I am providing the implementation. In previously, see this, how much I created a new class, I implemented it. Did I use any new class here? Did I created any new class?
No.
So meaning, so this is called as a lambda expressions, meaning so you can able to implement the interface without using any new class. Without using any new class, we can able to implement the interface. So this is called as a lambda expressions. So it can be applicable only for one method interfaces. Correct? See here. So how we are going to use this one? First, this is an interface, right? So I want to implement this method. So how we are going to do? So interface name and object. So here equal to, did you see this? Two brackets. Meaning,
Right.
so what is the method signature here? Two integers, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So here you can define the two data types, integer a comma integer, correct? Integer x. You can write any name, but two integers, correct?
Mm-hmm.
After that, did you see this arrow? Right arrow. And here we have to provide the implementation of the body. How we are going to implement it. This is the implementation. You can write whatever you want.
Does it gonna get through an error if you take up that arrow?
Which error?
Is
Yes, arrow. This is the JDK8 syntax. We should not remove this arrow.
there's a syntax that
Yes, this is the syntax we have to follow. Open bracket and mention all the arguments, arrow, then implementation. So now your class is ready. You have provided the implementation. So you have a calc object. From the calc object, you can call whatever methods you want. So this piece of code is called lambda expressions. And lambda expressions will be applicable only for functional interface, meaning if a interface which is having only one method is called functional interface.
okay.
So without using any new class, we have provided implementation for one interface, correct?
Right.
As for 1.